Mr. President, members of the board, thank you. I apologize. I'm not computer savvy here, but thank God Andrew is here. So my name is Dan Toscano for Drago and Toscano. We're attorneys at law with the zoning attorneys located at 15 Broad Street in Boston. And to my left with Tyler Murphy with the Rhino Capital, who they purchased 471, 477 Hanover Street. And to my right is Andrew from Rock, the architectural firm that conducted the drawings. So this is a change of occupancy from, it's actually a 7-family residential dwelling. We want to change the occupancy to a 6-family residential dwelling. The current building is in kind of some rough shape structurally, so it's going to be a full gut job inside, bring it up to structurally sound, redesign the floor plans. And what we want to do, the facade of the property will remain the same except for the first floor. As you can see on the first floor, you have 2 stairwells. It's actually 2 separate buildings. You enter in 3 units on the right and a number of units on the left. There's a stairwell on the right, stairwell on the left. So we're going to redesign, as you'll see as we go through the slideshow, redesign the front where you're going to have 1 main entrance in the center, 1 main stairwell, which will get you to all the residential units. What we like to do is in the back of the property in the rear, there are 2 dormers, as you're going to see on the front. You'll have a better view of that. The front dormers are going to remain the same, and then the back dormers, what we want to do is add some living space, but we're going to expand that dormer to make it 1 full dormer, and then add some rear decks to each of the units. So by doing so, we've created some violations. They're pre-existing non-conforming violations. One is FAR. Everybody knows in this residential district we have a 3.0 FAR. Currently, the property is at 3.25 FAR. By adding some additional living space, we're going to go to 3.7. So not much of an increase, but we are adding some living space that will increase that pre-existing condition. The second one is our rear yard setback. Everybody knows you see this very common zoning code violation. In this multifamily local services district, we have to be 12 feet from the property line. We are currently at 11. But what we want to do is put some rear decks 5 feet out, so we're going to be 6 feet. So we're increasing that violation from 11 feet to 5 feet for the violation. So those are the only 2 violations. We don't get hit with a parking violation because we're decreasing the number of units, going down from 7 to 6. We're proposing there'll be 3, they're all good sizes, 3 bedrooms, 2 2-bedrooms, and 1 1-bedroom. We'll go forward, and Andrew can go through the floor plan, Tyler can go through the floor plan, but moving forward, just so everybody gets an idea if this is an aerial. So seeking the change, we just went over the proposal. Lot size is about almost 2,300 square feet, and it's a multifamily local services sub-district. So, moving forward, we just went over the zoning code analysis for you. So we just, as you see in the red, we have 2 violations for the FAR and the rear yard setback. As you can see, the allowable, what's required on the right, and what we're proposing, okay? And PPD ain't going back, I just want to go forward. So just so everybody knows where this property is, it's towards the end of Hanover Street going towards the Coast Guard base. It's the last building on the left, right at the corner. You have Joe Carragall's property, which is the old mobile gas station right now. There was some commercial units in there, but it's used as office space. Joe Carragall is the parking lot, and then beyond the 2-story property is Commercial Street, and across the street is the Coast Guard. So with that property, see the height that you're looking at right now is the height that's going to remain. We're not changing the height of the property. And that's just looking from the Coast Guard going down, and this is a plot plan. And as you can see, really just in the rear, the proposed decks that are in the back that we're putting. There it is. All right, so here's our bedroom count. We have a 1 unit, which will be on the first floor. There's a 1-bedroom, 1 bath, 670 square feet. Unit 2 will be a 2-bedroom, 2.5 bath, 1,800 square feet. And I'll go through why the units are so big. Unit 3 is 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath, almost 2,000 square feet, 1,900. Unit 4, 2-bedroom, 2 bath, 1,000 square feet. Unit 5, the 3-bedroom plus with an office and 2.5 bath, 1,300, and same with unit 6. And the reason why we creating such larger units because they're going to be sold as condos. We want to promote some families to live there, so we I think one is already being sold already. We already have a family looking at going in there. 2 families already, 2 units are already, I guess pre-construction sold to 2 families. Want to be able to keep families here. See a lot of units in the neighborhood, a lot of properties in the neighborhood with smaller units. So we're able to keep, lower the unit count, but expand the footprint of the, expand the floor plan. So, I mean, going through it, I can go through the entire floor plan if you want, if need be, but I can also skip it as well. But the layout is 3 bedrooms, 2 bedrooms, to 1 bedroom. And this will be the basement here. This here is storage and some mechanicals will be down here, common area. So these 2 storage units for units 1 and 2. This here, all the way here, is going to be for unit 2. Unit 2 is going to be a duplex unit. That's their lower unit and common utilities. The first floor, we have unit number 1 and unit number 2, and has an interior stairwell to get down into the basement. So this is just an open floor plan for unit number 2, and unit number 1 is our 1 bedroom, 670 square feet. And it also has the main entrance, as you can see here. Main entrance here, which would be changed, as you see from the current conditions. You have an entrance here and an entrance here. We're going to have 1 main entrance on here in the street, main stairwell, and this back door provides some outdoor patio space for unit number 1 and number 2. Just really good pavers on the existing. We're going to redo the existing dilapidated cement that's back there. And just moving up here, second floor, we got unit number 3, which is our lower level for unit number 3. Unit 3 is also a duplex unit, which is the 1,930 square feet unit, and it also has rear decks of that unit. And moving up here, once again, we have unit 3 and unit number 4. Unit 3 has the 2 bedrooms and the rear decks in a bath, and also unit number 4 has a 2 bedroom, 2 bath, which kind of goes wraps a little bit around here.
Can I ask you a question on that? Please.
Yes.
So that left, the deck on the left side, that corner. How close is that to? Is there a building on, or is that is that not?
Over here?
Just empty.
No.
This deck, but you're talking about what's
But
over
that
here?
left corner.
This
Yeah.
corner.
How close is that to the? Is there a building? Is that a building?
So this is open to the parking lot that you saw on
I
this side.
see.
So if you were standing at this corner,
Yeah.
so to speak, and looking to your left, looking over here, you'd be looking at the parking lot. That was shown earlier.
So this outline here is not a building, if that's what you're asking.
Okay.
And moving forward to the 4th floor, we have unit 5 and unit 6, which would be a duplex units, moving on up to, which is the additional space where the dorm is in the back. And you're gonna get a better view of here. So this is the front elevations here, so the roof line is not changing, the structure's not changing, these are existing. Okay, just the first floor is changing, which is the main entrance. The building is under 55 feet in height. This is a left elevation, as you can see. This is, well, I would say it's existing, but it is. So there's 2 existing dormers here. And as you'll see from the rear, once we get a rear elevation, we're just making it 1 dormer. And this is a left elevation. This would be the parking lot here. As you can see, no windows because this overlooks the Carrigal property. And this would be our rear deck. So this is a good picture of our rear elevation. Here's where our zoning code violations actually trigger. So this was really 2 dormers, 1 here and 1 here. What we're doing is just really expanding and making 1 dormer, adding having 4 windows, and we're gonna have some decks going back down. These decks are gonna be 5 feet out, and just really 6 decks, just so it's uniform and then it looks good in the back. And then as it faces, there's a building behind it, but there's brick walls, there's some windows that you see here. And maybe I think Tyler will explain, there's probably some window over here. And that's really just another perspective that we're showing, and you see moving forward, another one. And this is obviously the building, I think, St. Joseph Society. And this is our rear. Looking down Hanover Street, where you'll see from the Coast Guard, and these existing dormers remain. And this is what you'll see from here, and there's partial view of the decks as you'll see, just another perspective. This is looking towards the Coast Guard and the waterfront. So that's pretty much it. Happy to go over any questions. I would be happy to go over any of the floor plans as well as Andrew, but happy to answer any questions on it.
So Dan, for questions, I just want to ask, so the deck in the back, like what's facing, is there property right behind it? Is there any windows? What's the building right behind it? Can you describe the building right behind it?
Yes, we actually have the abutter here today, Margot.
Right here.
And so what you're going to look back there, again, just trying to provide some perspective here. If I was standing on that deck looking straight ahead, because it's a zero lot line, your building's right up against ours, it's all brick. And then there are some windows that slope back and form a bit of a vertical line, which would be somewhere right about here that you'd be looking at if you were standing on the deck across the way, right about here. But majority-wise, this is a solid brick wall that you'd be looking at.
I can get it better.
Does anyone have any questions?
Do you have like a proposed construction timeline or something like that?
Well, Tyler can explain the construction, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so we still have a pretty arduous process to go through on the permitting side, as you guys know. What we're going to be doing is hopefully, if everything goes according to plan, which may or may not happen, the goal would be to start interior demolition. As we said, the building shell is staying, roof line staying, all that's remaining. But the interior demolition, we're hoping to start in probably late August, September. Project will be wrapping up about the same time the next summer. So it's somewhere in the range of 10 to 12 months of construction.
Keeping with like the rear side of the property, I just want to see what's is it a fence there like, from seeing the parking lot right there? But then I'm talking like you have like the rear garden. I mean, if people have people do.
No, there's
people
no
have
access. You're actually landlocked when you're back there. There's no means of egress for anybody.
But what's like the threat for like someone like getting in there and coming to the first floor apartment? It's like having like that access parking lot right there.
So right now, what's existing there, perspective, if we were to turn this, right now there's a brick wall. It's about, say, 5 to 6 feet tall.
Okay.
And it does have a little bit of a fence lining on top of it. So we'll be leaving the wall in place, probably just improving its looks. Maybe we replace the fence on the top or something like that, but the general proportions and look will remain the same.
Do you materials yet for the front facade?
So the front facade is going to remain, so it's just going to be the brick that you see in place. There may be some bricks that are damaged that need to be replaced, but they'll be replaced in kind. So what you'll be seeing on the front is really not going to change. The roof will remain asphalt shingles, windows in the same locations. It's really just about improving. There's a granite cornice line here that will remain. It's just about, it's really about repointing it and making it look correct.
Jody?
Any opposition at the abutters meeting?
We have some concerns. Margot's here, and we also had a concern from Brian. What was the address of your own property where you live?
414.
414 gentleman is here saying, I think that's over here, that might have some bedrooms.
Yeah, so
back
here, so
here.
there is a little bit of concern.
Yeah, those are all bedroom windows back there.
These here.
That whole-
I think the initial concern was look of the decks, and I think we got to some sort of middle ground once we explained. You can see the site, you're going to be able to see a little corner of them, but not much from here. There is some concern about noise from that abutter as well. What we like to say is, as Daniel mentioned, we have 2 of these sold under contingency. One is going to be the grandmother of the owner of this firm. The second one is a family with 2 children who were here at the first meeting. And so it's not a rental property, it's going to be hiring condos. And so we're going to have certain condo rules and association rules and fines put in place. We're going to actually form the association prior to turning the units over, not leave the whole thing up to the people who buy the units to help with some of these issues, put some rules in place ahead of time. But we're expecting the people who will be buying these condos to be people who are buying, people who want to
Probably talking about 70 square feet per open space, and you're selling high-end, units, people want open space. It's certainly not the best view of the back, but we could have tried to go to the front, but the front, you go through a whole PIC process, but maybe we can put some open space in the back.
And that's just to fill you in, that was the response that we provided that abutter.
So when do you want to hear from?
I'm going, yeah, I just want to make sure there's no other questions from anyone on the council. Okay, excellent. So I'll open up to the abutters.
So I do have concerns with being so close, and we're trying to come to some kind of agreement. And so we made a list of what my issues were, and I have to see whether what they're trying to help us with is actually enforceable. And, like,
Can you explain it? Yeah.
okay, like cooking, or, can you tell them, no, you can't do electric grills back there? I mean, you can tell them you can't do gas grills, right? Because you can't have fires, but electric grills, can you tell them that that's not permissible? I don't know if that's, they could say yeah, but I don't know if it's really enforceable.
So Margot's brought up some good concerns, and we were fortunate enough that
Because it's so close, it's like 5 feet or even
6,
close.
yeah, 6.
You're
So I guess you do 6 feet.
Not
You guys go
not
to
all
five-
of
to
it.
five- Not to 5?
Not all of it. It's like on an angle.
Okay.
So Margot brought up some concerns. This particular point was about activities or things that would be on the decks. And that goes back to the point of, we're going to do some deed restricted items as well as form the association ahead of time. What she was referring to with the gas grills, you can't have gas grills on decks. So we know that's a safety.
And we're not piping anything.
We're not
outside.
piping any water, any gas out there, so that's what it is. But she brought up a valid point of, well, fair, what if someone put an electric grill or laundry, for example? These units will have washer and dryer them, but we're going to take the time to list these items out there, things you could think of, laundry, grills, flags, things of that nature that someone may put on a deck. And we're going to do a combination of whether it's deed restriction, that's probably more of a change in the deck, or condo association rules that will have fines associated with them to ensure that there's nothing like that.
And I just don't know if that's, like, can someone change the deeds, or, you know what I mean, or
So
the condo can change it.
The condo association rules, you guys can set
And
that out.
admittedly, this is not formed, so this is something that we've met and we're working through with our attorneys, but it's something that we are committed to doing.
Okay. So if it was something that was set in the condo association rule, then
Right, yeah, it's like a condo, you can't change, so if someone bought a condo on the 3rd floor and they wanted to break out the window and put a whole, one bay window, you can't do it, you have to go through a condo association, get approval, because anything you change to the facade, would have to get approved from the condo board. They can put restrictions in the condo association. Now, can ultimately be changed, the trustees at some point down the road may, but I can't imagine when you're selling high-end condos, you want somebody to put laundry, a laundry room. In the 50s and 60s, I think the neighborhood, we used to see a lot of clotheslines going across. I don't think we're going to see that here.
I think everything that Margot has proposed and brought up are things that other buyers in the building are going to like to see. And it's going to make them feel comfortable. So I think it's a better thing for the building in general.
Well, one of my issues was if they want to close it, can they do that? I don't know, I
And
don't
that
ask
would
my
be an
lawyer,
example of a deed restricted, like a physical change.
And you couldn't do
Yeah,
that
things like
without
that.
going through zoning.
That's something like the gas grills and closing it.
Right, but even
that's
electric
like-
grills, like if you're so close and it can catch on fire, even
No, I
that
understand.
stuff can catch on fire, you're only 4 feet from your building,
No, I know, I'm just making
Like-
a distinction between like the things that are already, like you have deed restrictions or something like that, which it seems like if you can work together and say, the
Yeah.
things that aren't
Right, so we're trying to work together, but I'm trying to see if it's really enforceable,
through the condo association agreement.
To us.
yeah.
And they find them.
Yeah.
Is she referring to the balconies or to the condo in the back?
She's referring to
Balconies.
balconies.
They're the same.
And it would apply to both. I think her concerns are valid for both. So it's a better way to put it, be outdoor space.
Is the patio a wood deck?
As it exists today, or what we
I mean, what
propose?
you're gonna build? Is
No,
it
it would
wood
just,
deck?
it would
What
just
is
be
it,
pavers.
cement?
It would be a type of stone cement paver.
As far as according to any kind of association, as long as you have balconies, you have a roof.
Yeah.
My apartment has a balcony. If the apartment above me had a balcony, I could not use the ground.
Electric or gas?
They were right, that's a law, you can look it up.
Okay.
You cannot have a ground, gas, whatever you want to use, okay? And if that patio is close to another building, they can go to the fire department and there will be no trouble. That happened on
All right,
Richmond
we're gonna clean that
Yeah,
back.
and we're not proposing any grills or any formal type of grilling.
Because that makes me
station.
feel good that that's like, not that you can't do it, you know, so.
I mean, when you put a roof deck like that, I mean, are you interfering with the individual in back?
No, it's
Side
just a brick building in the back, there's no windows because it's a zero lot line, but there are some side windows, but directly in front, it's a solid brick building.
There's,
Is that?
No, you're not looking
Are those
directly.
patios exclusively for the
Yes.
people that
Yes.
live there or for the whole building?
No,
We are deeded to those to those units, so unit 1 and unit 2 will have the only access to those patios.
Better have that all right.
So is it?
Yeah, they won't be able, already, anyone else in the building won't be able to get out
You can't
to the patio because you have to go through unit 1 and unit 2. And in back there, I don't know if anyone noticed it, Tyler sent me a photo, it's not in the slideshow, but there's a mess back there, it's landlocked, it builds water, it's a ton of debris back there, they're gonna redo it, they have to put a whole new water filtration system in their building, which will flow underneath their own property, which they have to, but it's messy back there, so we'll clean it all up.
it's not true. That's not true. But one of the other things that we're working on is I'm concerned about any construction that goes on there because it's so tight that I don't have any problems going into my building. So I proposed to them that they either have to put something in escrow or like bonded, or and you have to video like cracks, make sure there's no cracks, you know, no changes that go through. And they said that they would do that, so.
Yeah, so
we
what
have
we
to-
propose is, and we talked about this earlier, is basically a standalone policy. Whatever that policy ends up being, whether we want to use the bond, insurance, et cetera, you know, we'll figure that out. We have an insurance agent, so we're going to do that. We do have a structural engineer on the job, so it's SGH, the best in the city, arguably. And so they can do a pre-existing survey of what's going on. But the good thing about this building, in this particular case, is the shell is staying, the foundation is staying. So while there's structural work interior for our building, we're not changing the structure as it would relate to neighbors' properties and that sort of thing. We're kind of working in the existing shell and improving that. And not to say that it doesn't cause a concern, but at least in terms of construction, this is probably one of the least disruptive in terms of that particular item.
Well, because I don't have any water issues, so, or anything. Right now, I've had the property for 15 years, it's a dry basement, so, you know, I prefer an escrow account as opposed to dealing with insurance companies, just because we have to really, we're trying to address that there's no foundation issues, because it's pretty dry back there, and so, you know, I've never had any flooding issues back there, so when they do some construction, I don't know what's gonna happen.
The good thing is we're not changing the elevation back there, so whatever elevation it's at right now, will be just replaced at the same elevation.
Okay. Yeah, so I'll leave that, I mean, that's something that, I mean,
Well, I don't-
however it's gone about, like, however you guys, I mean. want-
Right, so I don't know how it's gonna end, you know what I mean? I just want, like, if we can come to an agreement, then that's fine, but if not, then, you know, so hopefully we can.
Yeah, I mean, there's, I mean, I can't tell you what to do with that. I mean, that's something that this has to be figured out. Before anything else, can I just see if there's any other questions or any other concerns on the property from any other abutters? Ryan?
Brett, Ryan Penny, 464 Hanover. I also own unit 414 commercial. I share a lot of the same concerns that Margot has, as well as the other abutter from 414 commercial. You know, you're adding 600 square feet of outdoor space that currently doesn't exist. You know, noise is an issue back there. So, you know, it sounds like people are trying to work together on this. I'm happy to work with you as well. You know, just because those are the bedroom windows there, and it can be very loud throughout the year, depending on what's going on. You know, especially during the feast. That's only 5 times a year, which is totally fine. But this is more of a full-time situation. So the noise issue is concerning. You know, the grill issue as well.
Well, I'm glad to hear that that's not really gonna be an issue, right?
Well, I mean, you say, that, you know, the grill issue is, it's illegal to have a grill, but if anyone goes on a roof deck in the north end and looks around, half of the buildings have gas grills on there. So, you know, that's, you can put in as many bylaws as you want in a condo association.
Well, but she's saying fire, if there's anything on top
No,
of it.
I understand. I'm saying people just do it anyway. Yeah, people do it anyway.
Yeah,
And
well,
the
you just
roof,
call
yeah,
it
the roof deck jurisdiction in these decks is a little bit different. So these, much more restrictions on the decks in this scenario, back to the point that was made earlier, acting as a roof type scenario. So the roof deck, the idea is you're already above the roof. These you're not, so there is a different level of restrictions, whether it's calling the fire department or anything like that.
And are you guys planning anything in place in the bylaws or planning on doing it with short-term rentals?
No,
Okay.
absolutely not allowed. I was actually here at a meeting where one of the topics of discussion is the meeting that Deanna Irish came to, who was the commissioner at ISD, and they went through a whole list of how they're restricting short-term rentals and that sort of thing, so definitely not in this building.
Right?
I do also have to say that originally they were gonna have the air conditioning condensers down on that ground level, and they've agreed to put them up on the roof.
Okay.
So I appreciate that.
Yeah, that's more in line with the neighborhood.
That's awesome. So I mean, yeah, I mean, as long as you guys can keep working, it seems like you guys are working together.
Yeah.
So that's what we like to hear is the about us working together. You guys get it together. So I mean,
Tony here has been nice enough to
Yeah.
help this, so help the process.
Hi, my name is Jim McCall. I'm here on behalf of the St. Joseph Society. We're at 467 Hanover, direct abutters. And just want to say that we fully support the proposal. Rhino Group has already proven to be great neighbors. They've actually made a contribution with some land to the society. We're a charitable religious organization, been present for about 100 years in the neighborhood, and we fully support and hope the board approves it.
Thank you. And the land he's referring to is the land that was in the back of the building. That actually extends, looking at our building here, the land actually extends probably somewhere about over here. And so this portion we donated to St. Joseph Society. And what you're seeing on the plan now is just retaining what's in line with the actual building shape.
Wait, I have a question, because my building has windows right on the line, was that originally a public way, and then it became a private way from,
I don't know.
but I mean, I'm just assuming, like, I'm trying to figure out why would I have windows on that if, and it used to go through the other way, so it probably was a public way at some point,
Maybe.
and that's why we have windows on the lot line.
I don't know.
Okay.
excellent.
So your windows facing where the decks are going to be? And you'd be your...
Some, like the living room window and the fire escape is there, you know? Yeah, towards the end of the decks.
Right, not straight on.
Any issues with that?
Yeah, that's what because I'm concerned, you know, with the noise and if they're grilling and how close it is to the building. Yeah, I don't know. I have concerns about, a lot of concerns about it, and that's what we're trying to address, you know? And because, you know, I mean, security also, if somebody jumps, I don't know, you know, you go from that deck, they can maybe go right to the windows. I don't know, you know, I mean, it's pretty close. But you know, maybe they can address that too. Maybe they can alarm the windows. I don't know, you know.
So it sounds like you guys do have a good, like a healthy butter relationship when compared to most, well, some situations that we
Well,
find
yeah,
ourselves
but
in.
so I'm just, you know, as long as we can address them, then that's one thing. If they're not enforceable, like if everybody in the building can then agree to get rid of all these rules that they put in, I mean, that's a problem, you know? But,
Yeah, I mean, you stay on top of it and you make your point and stay in touch
Once
with it.
again,
Yeah, exactly.
It is a condo building, so there'll be families in this condos, there's rules, it's not a rental building with an absentee landlord, which we see a lot. This neighborhood, it will be condos, so they will be owner
And
occupied.
so first floor, the grandmother's gonna be occupied.
Yeah,
first floor.
there's 2 units apparently already sold, are being contingent upon the construction, yeah.
And just
One family and-
last question, I just want to ask you, the construction, how long do you anticipate it taking?
10 to 12 months, including the demolition phase, so that's all in.
I mean, right, the building will be fully sprinkled up to fire code, of course, yeah.
Okay.
is there gonna be an elevator in the building?
No.
We're not proposing one at this time, no.
Victor, you had a question? You did.
Well, it was half of that. Well, no, that's half of it. The other was, is it a 5-story walk-up?
It's going to be a 5-story walk-up.
All right, so with that said, I would like to, well, before anything, yep.
Be recognized for 1 second. I have to recuse myself from this vote due to a conflicting business interest, so I just would like to say that, and best of luck to the petitioners.
Do you mind if I just address that question? Sorry. It's actually a 4-story because the 5th story staircase would be within the unit. So you'd walk up 4 stories to your unit, and within your unit, you would be walking up there.
So
Unit
so
5
the
and 6 are duplex
is a
units.
duplex?
Yeah, I just wanted, just to be clear.
And you guys, I mean, you've been in communication with obviously Margo, Brian, like, so.
Because the other issue is garbage, like, if they, you know, I've been concerned that they'll garbage out on, store their garbage on those decks.
I would imagine that, like was said, that, I mean, if you're a condo owner on one floor, like, I wouldn't want my neighbor having garbage out there. So, I mean, I think that stuff like that, like, seems like it'd be pretty easy to work with them and just, not that it's not important to address, because as you're like coming up with ideas of like, okay, we don't want grills, we don't want flags, I think stuff like that is perfect for the condo association agreement, and I'm sure that many, if not all, will say, yes, I don't want garbage on my neighbor's deck next to me. But my thing is, like, it seems like you're working together, so I would just ask that you continue to do so with you and Ryan and whoever else is directly impacted. That's all, and St. Joseph's, of course. So.
Yeah, absolutely, that's the primary, that's the
Hopefully
primary
less
objective,
garbage
just keep working
going
together on
down,
this.
less your number of units.
Yeah. Because I mean, you're people that spend good money on, like, their condo units, so I mean, everyone's gonna not want their neighbor putting out trash, grilling, causing all chaos for themselves too. You know, people are spending good money on their condo too, I mean, aside from disrupting you, they don't want to be disrupted by their neighbors.
Have you had any experience with decks being so close to houses, to other buildings? I mean, I don't know what's going on.
It's happening to me right now. Yeah.
How
And
close?
it's
I mean,
5 feet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's one right on Prince Street. You can see it when you walk out of here, right across from you, Marie. Yeah.
How much, do you own the,
The building, 4 Holden Court.
have a condo on?
No, it's a building, I own the building, 4 Holden Court.
How long have you lived here?
15 years probably, or 10 years, that building, I don't know.
all right, so without any other further questions, I'd like to ask the council to make a,
Just to clarify, we're talking about the property that you own and we're abutting?
Yeah,
Yeah, so she's, whatever, for 15 years, it's a rental property. So she doesn't live there.
I live across the street
She
from
just lives
there.
across the street. So she's still an abutter in that sense, there's no question about it, but that's a rental property, just so we're clear.
all right, so with no other further questions, I'd like to call the council to make their vote. Pass it down to Tina and Tali over here. And while we wait everyone's vote, just a reminder that our next meeting will be held on Monday, March 9th, same time, same place here in this room. Look forward to having you all there for that meeting. We're gonna have a happy Valentine's Day on Friday, or St. Valentine's Day, whatever it may be, I don't know.